What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Rob Brown, host of The Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate 97.7 FM in Greenville, 97.1 FM in Spartanburg, and anywhere in the world with an internet connection and a speaker on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Put that on your digital devices and don't miss a minute of The Rob Brown Show, or listen to any of our podcasts at ESPNUpstate.com. I now have the technology to bring you video. I know it's so 2000 and late, but we got it done. We're here, and I wanted to do our first video, a little film room with Rob. I wanted to take a look and break down, and I'll do the same with Clemson in the next 24, 48 hours or so. But as we head towards the Palmetto rivalry, I wanted to talk a little bit about South Carolina. Two big games in the last 2 weeks, a very disappointing loss on the road at Missouri, and of course, a big win over the Auburn Tigers, an underdog win for the Gamecocks against Auburn this past Saturday at Willie B. And I've pulled a couple of plays from both of those games that I wanted to go over. Now, if you watch these Film Room with Rob segments, one thing you're going to notice, the majority of the plays that we look at are going to be negative. And there's a good reason for that. Any coach will tell you, film, don't lie. If you've done something and it's successful, you know how to do it. It's when you do something that's not successful that means there's something to be fixed. And I've got a couple of ideas, a couple of things I noticed watching the film that I wanted to share to talk about what USC needs to do better if they want to knock off Clemson. I said on my show earlier this week that if the Clemson that showed up against Wake Forest shows up against South Carolina, there's probably not much South Carolina can do. At the end of the day, the biggest problem in sports is when the other team is just better than you. And if the Clemson that beat Wake Forest shows up Saturday, they're going to win that game. But USC can do a lot to make its chances better by cleaning up a few mistakes I saw against Missouri and Auburn, a loss and a win, and I wanted to run over those here. So what I'm going to do is open up some game film. We're going to take a look at a handful of plays that I saw between those games that I thought were real opportunities to get some things fixed up, and we will point out some things that went right for Shane Beamer's crowd. I'm going to start pulling up the video, and by the way, I do apologize. The screen that shows me what you guys are seeing is over here, while my game film screen's over here. So if I look away for just a second, it just means that I'm looking over here to see that you guys are seeing what I want you to see. We're going to start with this game against Missouri 2 weeks ago. This is the 31-28 loss that I really think it could have damaged the psyche of the Gamecocks football program, but they got through it, which I think is very impressive. We're going to start here in the second quarter, 11:43. This is after the fumble that gave Mizzou the short field possession. They ended up punching in a touchdown to go up 14-7. South Carolina trying to put together a drive here to level that out. We're going to start here with 11 and some change left in the first half of the game. We're going to watch South Carolina work on a draw to the left here. So they got the running back here with the quarterback, and I think you guys can see my mouse so I can highlight what we're looking at. But I want you to keep an eye across the entire offensive line because that has been the big problem for the Gamecocks this year. So we're going to run a draw to the left. Now, this is a 1st and 10. You got to draw, so you're kind of trying to you've got all three wideouts split down to the right. You're forcing the defense to be unbalanced away from where you want to run the draw. We got a 4-man formation, but Mizzou walks up that outside cornerback here, and you effectively have 4 linebackers here. Let's watch this draw play out. So he takes the snap, and they go left. Now, here is the problem. The one thing that I cannot see when you're running a draw play to the left are the numbers of the offensive guard, because that means that your outside defensive lineman, your tackle have busted up the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what happened here. They get through the line of scrimmage. You've got your nose tackle off the other side, your defensive end, and your tackle. All three blew up. Now, your outside tackle here has actually got a good block going on the defensive end. The problem is he probably needs to be blocking down to help the outside. You've got your outside player here. He should be blocking number 9 towards us. 53 should be down blocking as well. But both guys get blown up. They come to the inside, and they make that tackle. So we'll back it up again. I want you to keep an eye on your guard, your tackle, and your tight end up here at the top. Once the snap gets, this tight end should have his helmet probably on the outside shoulder of this defensive end. Your guard and tackle need to be chipping down blocking while watching these linebackers. You'd like these linebackers to bite up, but you want to make sure that you're getting this defensive line sealed off so that you can get to the outside. As soon as I see 53 turn, you're okay here because you got both inside linebackers to crash down. That's good news because you should have a wall here that your running back can get to the outside. But once that defensive line, once you see these two yellow hats and that third linebacker get through untouched, that play's dead. There's nowhere for that running back to go. He's dead on arrival. So this is just bad blocking on the backside for the line. They've got to find a way to get these yellow helmets behind the wall of white hats, and that's ultimately what you're going to end up seeing. We're going to skip a little ahead further in the game here up to this point. Now, we're going to end up looking to a handoff to the right here. Again, you've lined double wide receivers at the top to try to bring your defense away from where you're going. That's fine. You've got your slot back up here as well. We're going to run away from him, and that's fine. You've got a one receiver, one defensive back. What you're trying to create is an ISO situation with this outside linebacker against your running back on the outside edge, right? Except for watch the guard and the tackle on this side. They are going to run a pull play away. Okay, fine. We can kind of run some sort of counter here. You got your guard and your tackler that pull to the left. Problem is, there's no fake from your quarterback and running back to make your backside defensive lineman and linebacker believe that that play's going left. So you're running all your blocking to the left. You got your slot back that goes out to the left. You got your wide receiver going out, and you got your backside, really now your front side, guard and tackle pulling around. And as soon as they do, this defensive tackle, this defensive end, they're straight up the field because there's no reason. Ordinarily on a play like this, what you would see is when your guard and tackle pull, your defensive tackle and defensive end are going to jump in their back pocket and they're going to follow them down the line of scrimmage, right? They're going to just tail after them. So in this spot, you want this helmet and this helmet to flatten out and pull around, which is fine. That's a good way to attack that formation. The problem is with no fake out of your running back here, when the handoff's given, they see the ball in his gut. Your best option at this point would have been for Jason Brown to pull that ball, keep it himself, and take it off the left-hand side. He would have had an isolation up here against either the linebacker coming over the top or the cornerback if there's no block. But since there's no fake here, you've got to tackle a defensive end, and then this linebacker up here to clean the whole mess up. He doesn't need to because these guys just absolutely wreck the play. And that's just, again, I don't know if that was a busted play call. I don't know if that was a busted play call. I don't know if that was just a miscommunication in the defensive backfield. But those are the plays that are absolutely going to get you killed against Clemson. Skip ahead to 4:39 on our tape. This is going to be a buck and a half just about left in the second half of the game. And this is going to be another effort at a pass. But I want you, again, keep an eye on the tackle on both sides, both offensive left and right, offensive tackles. And watch this pass blocking because this will absolutely get you killed against the Clemson defense that is aggressive and wants to get to the point. So the play's going to start off. Jason Brown's just going to take a drop and watch the tackles on both sides. As soon as this ball snapped, right here, you're in good shape, right? You should have both tackles blocking to the outside, letting those guys get up the field. You got both of your inside linemen blocked here, and nobody's attacked the center, which means you've got an extra blocker, right? So there's where the drop sets. Now you've lost your block here, but again, that's okay if Jason Brown steps back up in the pocket, which is what he needs to do. That defensive end comes loose. This defensive end loose. Again, if he steps up into the pocket, he's fine. You got one defensive tackle blocked outside. You got a good one-on-one block here. Step up into the pocket. But instead, he starts jetting backwards and running for his life. You can't have that. So we'll watch that back one more time. Both tackles do a good job. They let the blockers get up the field. And I know this is a deep drop. This is a 7-step, maybe deeper drop for Jason Brown. But right here, he's got to see the front of the jersey, and he's got to see the front of the jersey, and he's probably too late to drop or to step back up in the pocket, but he's got to try, right? Now, 55 does a great job here. He realizes that he's probably got the pocket closed off, and he steps up, but he needed to make that decision earlier. When he's dropping back and he sees here, right here, when he sees the front of this jersey, he needs to be stepping forward into the pocket. Instead, he just turns and runs away, and it gets him killed. Now, I want to switch here to the Auburn game. And the reason I want to switch to the Auburn game is because there was a very similar play in the Auburn game where Jason Brown did exactly the right thing. And hold with me while I get the other tab pulled up. Here's from the Auburn game, and we're going to jump ahead. This is 11:50, so we're just inside the start of the first quarter here. I want you to watch Jason Brown on this play because you're going to notice when you watch the tackles, they got a slot receiver here, but I want you to watch the tackles because the same thing happens. Both defensive ends are rushing straight up the field. You get a little chip block here from your running back, that's fine, but Jason sees the helmet in the front of the jersey from this defensive end. He sees the helmet in the front. Despite the chip block, he sees the helmet in the defensive end from this side, right? So this guy's beat down here, probably beat unless Brown steps up. He sees the front of the jersey. Look at him drop that right leg. Look at him plant, and he gets back up the field. Now, at this point, it's not so much stepping up in the pocket as running for his life out of the end zone, but it's still what I need. You got a 2-on-1 block here. 25's out of the play. You got a good 1-on-1 block here. This guy's out of the play. In fact, if you look back, it is only the Auburn defensive end on the top side that saves Jason Brown from a big play. So again, he sees the front of the jersey. He sees the front of the jersey, plants that right leg, gets back up the field. And if it's not for 55 here with a very lucky tackle, if he misses that tackle, Jason Brown's probably getting up past at least to the 10-yard line here. And that is a big-time play. I'm going to jump a little further ahead in the game here because I want you to watch this one as well. We're looking at the South Carolina defense. Tank Bigsby back here, running back for the Auburn Tigers. Now, he is an absolute man. The dude is a stud. I'm not mad about him getting big yards. In fact, one of the things I've said about the game against Clemson on Saturday is recognize that Kobe Pace is going to have his yards. He had a huge game against Wake Forest. He's going to get some. It's taking away everything else from Clemson that is important, but you can't do what I'm about to show you. Keep an eye on Tank Bigsby when he takes the handoff. Now, you're in an okay spot here, right? It looks like. You got this man coming down to the inside. You've got your cross back, the H-back coming off on the chip block, who's going to take this defensive end out. There's a good block and a good block there. You got a double team up here on the linebacker, right? However, you've got this cornerback coming from this side, this cornerback coming from this side, and the lane is clearly right here. He's going to take out the defensive end. You got an open face mask and an open face mask. The problem is this cornerback up here hangs back, and he ends up getting caught and blocked by his own man here. This cornerback waits too long. Neither jumps up into the hole, and Bigsby just escalates. Again, we'll follow that one more time. You've got the crackback coming from here to take your defensive end out, or your outside cornerback, whoever is going to be the furthest guy out. You got a good down block from both the tackle and the guard. Now, you should be okay. You collapse from here. You collapse from here. You take away this hole, and that's a stop. That's a stop on 3rd and 1, except for he ends up crashing in, takes too long from the backside, takes too long from this side. You get caught flat-footed. You don't have time to get down there and make a play. And if Bigsby hits that hole with a head full of steam, he's good for another 5 more. That's a big problem. We'll jump ahead a little further now. We're going to come up here to a play fake that Auburn runs. And again, this is all about discipline. This is making sure your head is in the right place. You're going to get a play fake here over to Tank Bigsby. And again, that's fine. You want to make sure that this dude is contained. But I want you to watch where South Carolina's defense ends up when they start this play. Keep an eye on this linebacker here. Keep an eye on the defensive end. When that play fake happens, right there, look how far up. He is absolutely cheating up to stop Tank. And again, that's fine. Contact order, you got to make it happen. But you have got to be prepared when you recognize it's a play fake to get back. He comes up, attacks into the guard. Defensive end is pushing up as well. You've got 2 of your defensive second line defenders here. And again, that's fine. But watch. He's going to step up. Where are we going here? What's the play here? Are you going to make a play on the quarterback? When you started that run, you were, 9 yards deep, right? So we got the play fake to start. You got one linebacker crashing. Maybe that's a call blitz. I could be wrong. That could be a call blitz. But even if it is, you got to recognize and back up. Now, you've got to stay here. This is now your zone. This is your area of the field. Instead, he comes up. He's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 8 yards back from the quarterback at this point. No way he's making a play. The only guy who stayed put is here. He recognizes his zone, but out here's got to be defended. Cornerback's got to stay up. Linebacker's got to drop. Nobody does. Boom. Easy completion right over the top. That's the kind of stuff that can't be allowed to happen. Let's jump ahead just a little bit further in the game. We're going to come up. That's the end of that last play we saw. 8:54, first and goal for Auburn at this place. I want you to keep an eye on the cornerback here, all right? Watch what he does because he commits a cardinal sin in football. He is never going to take his eyes out of the backfield. So, again, we're going to play fake to Tank Bigsby. I'm going to get that name right one time. This cornerback's looking. He's ride and run the whole time, right? His eyes are on Tank. He's committed to that direction before he realizes, oh, crap, Finley's still got the ball. And now you've got your out route right here. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. He needs to be riding that route the whole time. As soon as that ball is snapped, he gets caught sucked into the run. And I understand you want to be there, but look at this mass up here. You've got a safety, you've got an outside corner, you got a linebacker all crashing. You got to trust these guys to do their jobs. If you're going to step up and be part of it, you're going to end up with this little slot receiver running the nice little easy wheel route. Nobody's there. Now, last thing about this play, the outside corner here, he figures out what happens, sheds his block, turns around. But this is what happens. And I want you kids out there learning how to play football to listen to Uncle Rob. When you step up to make a play, you cannot receive the ball carrier. You have to attack him. Watch him. He tries to pillowcase, catch him, and he just spins him around. So same situation. We'll go back to the start of that play and watch it one more time now, all in motion. Commits to the run from over here. Little wheel route gets underneath. This cornerback is one-on-one, turns around, soft hit, touchdown Auburn. It's just that easy. Let's skip even a little further ahead here to the very next situation. That's the end of that last play. So we'll go up to the next South Carolina play. Now, this one is a good play. We're going to talk some good things here too. Watch Jason Brown when the pressure starts showing up. He recognizes Auburn's bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players at him, and he sees that pressure. Soon as he recognizes you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Auburn defenders coming at you, what does he do? Sets the plant foot, recognizes that the guy most likely to be open is the quick little 4-yard in route. Boom, nails him. That is a great play from Jason Brown. And he's going to see the middle linebackers coming. The outside linebacker on his left is coming, plus the entire front four. That is a dog pound of Auburn players coming at you. So he recognizes the pressure's coming from the right side. He sees that receiver, Josh Vann, hit the little inside cut. That ball's almost out by the time Vann makes his cut, hits him right in stride. That Jason Brown deserves a lot of commendation for that. We're going to skip a little further ahead in the game now. We're going to come back. Auburn football. They're up 7 on Carolina. 2:45 left to play. And here is another spot where the defense falls apart. You're going to fake to Bigsby. You're going to give to Bigsby. And now you should have this play set. Yeah, you've got the defensive end getting crashed down, but you've got a linebacker who can scrape. You've got the entire second level should be scraping as soon as Bigsby gets the ball here, here, here. And that play is set up to be stopped, except for, where's he looking? Where is he looking? He's still judging inside before he realizes, oh, there's the ball. This guy gets picked up on a block. And it's going to happen because that's designed. So you should have number 10 coming over the top to scrape down, except for watch the angle he takes. Tank's angle is flat to the outside. Look where his hips were. Very aggressive, bad pursuit angle. Bigsby's going to score. So again, backside block's going to come around, pick up the end. That is fine. You've still got this, and this guy's supposed to be following, but he misses his read. So here we come over the outside. Take a better angle. Look at the hips over here of Tank. They are pointed out. They are pointed over in this direction, but his hips are closed to Bigsby. It's a bad pursuit angle. By the time he recognizes what happens, it's too late. He's not outrunning Tank, and he's certainly not going to fight through that stiff arm. That is an Auburn touchdown. That's the kind of stuff you cannot let happen if you want to beat the Clemson Tigers. A little further ahead now. 1.5 minutes left to play. South Carolina trails by 14. I got to have Jason Brown make a faster decision here, right? Got to have a faster decision here. It's a tough spot. And on top of that, the defensive line fails. What did we say earlier? I cannot see from this camera angle the back number of my offensive guard. This has been a problem for South Carolina all year. Problem number 1, you're bringing your tackle right onto your guard's back. This defensive end is going to be able to just scoot to the outside, and he does. By the time they pick it up, I'm staring at 52 or 62, who gets turned all the way around, and look where Jason Brown is here. There's no win. There's a no-win scenario in play in that particular play. So one more time, both offensive linemen crash down. By the time they do, you got an easy defensive tackle pressure. You get your tackle and your guard turned around here. Backside defensive end scot-free. Can't let that happen. Clemson will tear you apart at that point. We'll jump a little bit further ahead in the game. Gamecock drive, 2nd and 17, the very next play. Again, same situation. Look at that. Once again, you've got 2 Auburn players and really a third coming up into Jason Brown's face. He's got nothing he can do in that situation. So why did that happen? Watch the tackle and the guard at the top. The outside tackle just gets run by. The guard's in no position to pick up the block that he needs to pick up there. I want you to keep an eye on this helmet right here. You cannot get beat. You got 2 guys crashing down, and that's fine. But he's got to realize that this is the next spot danger can come from and be able to push him out wide. Can't do it. 2 defensive linemen get to Brown. He's running for a life. There's nothing that he can do in that situation. Let's skip a little bit further ahead in the game. We're going to end up on the very next play in our highlight. 6:28 left to play here, and another situation that you've got to get outside, quick route and delivery, right? Watch the snap from Jason Brown. As soon as he gets it, he sees pressure. Auburn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coming again. He did a phenomenal job at recognizing the pressure. Auburn's bringing 6. They're bringing basically everybody up on the line here with the exception of the backside defensive back. So Brown looks up, sees they're coming. All right, I got pressure coming off the right. I got man-to-man block all the way around outside. We got fewer guys. I'm in trouble. So what's he do? Hit the outside, hit the running back on the quick little outside drought. There's nobody there from Auburn. Look at number 9 down here. He knows what's coming before it gets there. So great read, sees where the pressure's coming from. Auburn brings extra guys. He knows he's got a mismatch somewhere, but he's got to find it. Really had 2 because he had the streaking wide receiver down the line of scrimmage here, but he recognizes, look at this. Auburn has blown it. They brought too many guys. Quick route out to the running back. He is off to the races, got 1 to beat, and he does. That is as well as you can run that play. Now, I want to give a little credit to the O-line here, too, because they have not gotten it. They deserve it when they do. Watch the blocking on this play. This is almost as well done as I've seen them do all year long. So we're going to bring on this play a couple of guys off the backside, and they are going to light this play up. Keep an eye on the backside guard who's going to pull and the backside slot receiver. Your tackle is going to go one-on-one. Your center guard tackle on this side are just going to fire off, and it leaves you with the defensive end unblocked. And that's fine. He thinks he's got some time to figure out where the ball's going, but a great block. Get down low, root him out of the hole, and he does. The backside H-back pushes his guy out. You've got your center firing off the ball. There's a hole right here, and he finds it, splits through, cuts a block, right tack to the line of scrimmage. That, again, is about as good as you can run that play. One more time. Watch the guard pull, kick out, H-back kicks out. There's your hole. Well done. That's exactly the execution that you need. And finally, one last play to show you before we end the film room, mainly because I am here for a fat guy touchdown when it is well executed. South Carolina, with the little trickery, they go with the big man down, eligible on the line here. He sets up the block. You bring him out of the backfield. Oh, man, that's just really well done. You're going to set up here and get everybody going. You've got your big man lined up as the fullback. So when this end comes up the field, he's going to see that this fullback's coming out as an eligible receiver, but he's already got the momentum. He fights through. You've got everybody blocked on this side, so you make it one-on-one, fullback with that head of steam versus a defensive end who's facing the wrong way. He beats him. Good throw by Brown, puts it right in a spot where he can catch it, fall backwards into the end zone. That's exactly the type of execution that if you have, you win the game. So the reality here, South Carolina's got a chance to win this game, but they're going to have to do a lot right. They're going to have to do a lot right. And I got a feeling that they can. Again, what Clemson shows up? Is it the Clemson that beat Wake Forest? Or is it the Clemson that really struggled to put points up early against UConn? If it is the latter, and South Carolina can fix the problems that we just showed you in this film room, then I got a really, really good chance to win the game. I'm going to do one of these on Clemson later on in the week. If you enjoyed it, drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your takeaway from my film room breakdown. We'll have more of it later on. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, my name is Rob Brown, host of The Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. You can listen to it around the world at espnupstate.com or on the Odyssey app. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Later.